Alrighty, I found a lighter and now I'm going to light some sage. We'll start this off and get the vibes primed. I did already sage my house this morning, but I figure since we're on live, might not be a bad idea to just create some intention with the space. It's a good idea to do that. Set some energetic boundaries. Spirit, we set this intention now that this is a safe space. A place where we can have fun and vibe and just experience. So we're going to start out with a little bit of sage. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you're just seeing this video, feel free to stop in and say hi. I'm going to do a little bit of saging, smoke cleansing to start out, and then we'll get into doing some collective readings and personal readings, and I might do some guitar and a few other things. Hi, that tea guy. How's it going? All right. I haven't gone live in a long time, so bear with me. It's something I want to start doing again more because it is fun. I enjoy it, and it's like apparently a good idea. So, so let's give you some sage smoke cleanse. We're gonna cleanse your aura. Yes. La 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 la. Cleansing the aura. Cleansing the aura. If you are sending me invites to go live together, just know that I'm not there yet. Like maybe someday I will do that, but right now it feels like a lot, and I'm protecting my energy. So please don't be offended if I decline your live thing. I'm still working on just getting used to being on live, so bear with me. All right. So let's get some more sage. We're gonna work on the crown chakra. How's everybody doing? What do we got here? Let me see, Michelle and Anani. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Just a little bit more. What the what? Hi, what the what? Greetings and salutations. Oh yes, I gotta use the ASMR voice. We whisper now. Whisper, 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 whisper. All right. Okay. All right, so we've done a little smoke sage, smoke cleansing. I think I'm going to start out with a collective reading. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to pull an oracle card for each element, and then we'll do some tarot and stuff. I want to start out now. Actually, we'll just keep it simple. We're just going to do a general collective reading, and I'm going to pull a fuck ton of cards because it's fun. So the first deck we're going to pull from is the Ascended Masters Oracle deck. Something that's really kind of cool about this deck and a couple other ones I got. So I recently moved back here to Big Island from Maui, and when I moved over, I had a whole trunk of stuff I couldn't take with me on the plane, and in that trunk were all of my oracle cards, and so I was like, shoot. And then I moved into this place, and there was one day I was heading into town. I was taking the bus. I missed the bus, and because I missed the bus, I ended up noticing a garage sale down the street from me, and they happened to have these cards and two other decks, and I got all three of them for $6. And it sort of felt like a confirmation that, all right, maybe you should be doing more of this, exploring more of this. Some of the fears I have tend to be like putting myself out there, and so I'm working on that and kind of sharing more. So anyway, ironically, the cards that come out, so we have Detached from Drama, Pallas Athena, and then we have in reverse, freedom, Hina. And then we have positive change, Parvati, Parvati. So if we're looking at the three of these together, you know, what is it that is perhaps keeping you bound to a certain way of being? So we have the freedom in reverse, and we have detached from drama. So there may be some kind of drama going on in your life that you need to release, you know. I know I can definitely resonate with that. We all can. It's part of the human experience. And part of the human experience, too, is learning how to mitigate that stuff and navigate those waters when we're kind of working through things. The other card that popped out is teacher. I always have such a fun time pronouncing this guy's name. Mahak Ohan Ragasizi. So, all right. So I think this card speaks to, in combination with these, is like taking the lessons that come from situations and finding ways we can learn from them. Because everything can be a teacher in some way. So we'll set that there. And then I'm going to pull now from the Native Spirit Oracle. This is another one of those card decks that I found at that garage sale I was speaking to. I'm going to leave that one. I did a reading yesterday that a lot of the readings I've been doing lately have been really speaking to manifestation and also, you know, protecting your energy. I just did a reading earlier, it's on my page, and it spoke of like pregnancy. And when you're looking at like pregnancy and tarot and oracle card readings and stuff, it does not necessarily mean being pregnant physically with another human being. It can be being pregnant with possibilities. It can be having something that you are growing in the ethers, so to speak. And well, I shouldn't even say that actually. It's something that already exists on another dimension. And what it is kind of tuning into that frequency and pulling it and manifesting it. So in the cards that came up in that reading I posted, it spoke to like, you know, having faith in that process, and faith in your vision, and bringing it to fruition. Bum, bum, bum. So cool to these. So that first one that jumped out from this is Vision Quest. How about that? I love that shit. Faith in the vision, right? Okay, so dang, these guys are getting all kinds of crazy up in here. Shit. All right. So the other cards that come up here, a couple piles. So we got Prayer Feather, and we've got Nature Spirit. And then over here, we've got Spirit Keeper of the West, Sacred Mountain, and Circle of Life. I think for this card, I'm going to read the card meanings, or for this deck here. But first, I'm going to kind of like look at this intuitively, and then we'll go from there. Hello to everybody who's just joining in this live. I'm just here, you know, doing a collective reading right now, and then I'll be doing some like energy work, Reiki, ASMR stuff. I'm just kind of hanging out. So we got Circle of Life, Sacred Mountain, Spirit Keeper of the West, Nature Spirits, Prayer Feather, and Vision Quest. So well, first thing I think of right off the bat when I'm looking at this, and with regard to my own situation or circumstances, I guess you could say, is so we got like Spirit Keeper of the West and Sacred Mountain. Myself living on Big Island, Hawaii. It's pretty west in terms of the U.S. And there's a big ass mountain here. It It speaks to there's maybe a need to get out in nature and, you know, like spend some time with something that's a bit more primal, perhaps. The irony of like saying that while I'm live on TikTok, it does not escape me, and it is probably the cards calling me out to some extent, but it is a very necessary thing that, you know, we spend time recharging. But I think I think there's a sense of, you know, going into nature, some of those other things sort of click into place when we look at the cards that were coming up before and everything, that the sense of pregnancy, birthing something new, manifesting, and protecting your energy in the process so that that birthing goes smoothly. And I think this spread is kind of just speaking of one way to do that. It's grounding, getting into nature. It's, you know, like connecting with something that is bigger than you, if that makes sense. So, but just for the sake of full disclosure, I am going to read from the book for this one because I'm not as familiar with this deck. It's kind of new for me. So let's see what we got here. Circle of Life 40. The Circle of Life. It's the circle of life. And it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place. Sorry. On a path unwinding, in the circle. That was channeled, okay? Sorry, whatever. So, the Circle of Life card meaning, all things are possible. Stand in your center and be open. The four winds are bringing your dreams to fucking fruition. Jesus. Okay, embrace and accept where you are in the great circle of life. Bounty and abundance are flowing to you. If you've had a relationship or financial challenges, things are about to change. That's fucking cool. Right on. Your native spirit wants you to know the circle of life, called the medicine wheel in Native American tradition, symbolizes a cosmology that honors all circles of life. Those in Western cultures tend to see life as linear. However, those in indigenous cultures see all life as a circle. When this card chooses you, it's time to honor and cherish all aspects of the great circle. That makes sense too. You think about like the concept of the Circle of Life card, and the topic of the reading thus far has been this concept of pregnancy. Not necessarily like physical pregnancy, but pregnancy bringing things into existence. All right. There's beauty in the rising sun, just as there is in the setting sun. To only revel in the rising sun and demean times of endings depletes your energy. Choose what is, and you become a master of the universe, or at least of your own personal universe. And ultimately, that's the only thing you really want to be a master of, your personal universe, because that's really the only thing you can control is yourself, you know. A medicine wheel. Create a medicine wheel for yourself. It can be as simple as creating a circle of stones that you place on your desk, or making a circle of stones or pine cones that you lay outdoors. As you place each part of the circle, hold the intent that you're honoring all aspects of your life. So, yeah, take a look at that. You know, what are the aspects of your life? It's good to take stock sometimes. This is something I've been kind of working on myself. It's just really taking inventory, saying like, okay, you know, checking in. Where am I at? What's this look like? What's that look like? How can I adjust this? You know, like we have to have a kind of a clear picture of where our energy is going and what we're doing, you know, like, and sometimes, especially with how chaotic stuff can get, it's easy for that to get away from us. We just get caught in the whirlwind of life. And sometimes you need to take a step back, you know, like think of a pregnant woman. You know, she's got to conserve her energy. She's got to be careful with herself. And so if you're like pregnant with possibilities too, you want to protect your energy. Honor the circles and the cycles, you know. So next card, Sacred Mountain. Where are you, Sacred Mountain? 74. It's 74. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11s. Sacred Mountain is an 11 number. And that's interesting. 74. Where'd it go? Okay. Sacred Mountain. Hello to everybody who's joining in. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I'm just doing some collective readings and stuff right now. I'm just hanging out. So Sacred Mountain. Be still and take time to move into the silent place within yourself. Locate your internal source of power. Meditate. Wait. Do not move forward until it feels right. Surrender to stillness. Do not take action. If you observe rather than react, you claim your power. Your native spirit wants you to know. From the vantage point of the sacred mountain, your power grows. In silence, you'll find your sacred witness. It is the dwelling place of your soul. In peace, seek and discover your truth. Move past the bustle and clatter of life into sweet quietude. If you're in pain, don't lash out. Go in until you find the source so that it can be healed. Resist the temptation to indulge in feelings of stress, urgency, and emergency. Your power is born in silence. This gives birth to your serenity. Seek solitude to listen to your voice of higher self and awaken your inner vision. One thing that has been coming up a lot lately in my readings and a lot of the readings I've been following with other people is a sense of protecting your energy right now. I know I've been finding this to be true for myself, but the older I get, the less patience I have for bullshit. And I find the older I get, the easier it is to express that, however that might be. And that's simply having boundaries and protecting your energy. A lot of the times we try to people please and all that because we feel like we have to do that to be loved. But, if that comes at the expense of loving yourself, then you're not doing anybody any favors. And to tell you the truth, right now I'm finding that with the tattoo industry. And this is something that I have been sort of going back and forth with for years now. Because as much as I love tattooing, and I fucking love it, I've been doing it for over 16 years now. I love it. But it also stresses me out. And I've had to kind of look at that and take a step back and be more mindful about how I'm spending my energy, what I'm choosing to take on, what I'm choosing to let go of, looking at the safety of myself and my clients, if I am burnt the fuck out and hating everything, that's an energy I don't want to bring into a shop. That's an energy I don't want to be tattooing somebody with, So that's where self-care comes into place. If you're finding yourself in that place where you're at risk of your own health, however that looks for you, physical, mental, spiritual, you've got to take time to protect that, nurture yourself. Go in silence if you need to. There's a need to just protect yourself and love yourself. And I'm saying this as much to myself as I am sharing it here. All right. Travel to the peaks of hollowed mountains, and if you can't do this in person, travel in your meditation. Imagine yourself sitting atop a high peak, and you can see the world in all directions. Give thanks and offerings to mountains whenever you encounter them. The spirit of the mountain will deeply appreciate your gift. Cool. Maybe I'll have to go make a trip up the mountain. Spirit keeper of the West. Spirit keeper of the West. Spirit keeper of the West. The West. Spirit Keeper of the West is on page 88. We got angel number 88 here. 88. And I just pulled the 99. Interesting. 88. Okay. Spirit Keeper of the West. Transformation. Letting go of the old. Initiation. Illumination. Harvest. Gather your inner resources. If it doesn't feel right, don't go ahead. Trust your heart. Chaos brings positive change. Almost all change comes out of turmoil. Don't be concerned if there's confusion in your life. It will all work out. In the medicine wheel, the west is the direction that symbolized the fiery setting sun, autumn, the waning moon, and the time of harvest, the tumultuous years of teenagers in the human cycle. Out of the chaos arise illumination and transformation. In order for the new to ignite in your life, it's necessary to let go of the old. Sweep away the debris. The spirit keeper of the West reminds us to slow down on rapid growth and harvest what we have attained. In the autumn, leaves are burned to make way for new growth. Release the dross in your life to make way for new growth. Standing facing the west in the setting sun, imagine all limitations and blockages in your life are flowing from your heart into the sun. As the sun sets, it carries with it your cares and concerns to be transformed by its purifying energy. So that's spirit keeper of the West. Letting go, transformation. Well, this seems to look like it's kind of flowing together well. So, like, to sum up what we've got so far, you know, there's the circle of life, sacred mountain, spirit keeper of the West. All these things are speaking to, you know, managing your energy, protecting your energy, and putting it into things that are going to benefit you rather than deplete you. It's important. It's freaking important. I'm learning that. It helps to keep you from going freaking insane. We gotta do these things sometimes, as it turns out. All right, we're gonna move on to the next card. Is nature spirits. Nature spirits. That is page 64, 6410, 164. All right. Nature spirits. All right, this one's pretty cool. Joy, delight, peace of carefree abandon, living wildly, magically, and free. Be open to the wonders of the universe. Flooding into your life. Innocence and delight are abounding. Happiness is on its way. That sounds pretty groovy. We could all like dig some happiness. Like, what's up? All right. Your native spirit wants you to know almost every indigenous culture recounts stories of fairies, often called little people, and nature spirits. Although some of the fairies act in protection of wildlands and should be treated with care and respect, most often they bring blessings and delight to all in their realm. If this nature spirits card chooses you, then welcome to a wellspring of joy and magic. Beneath the surface, mystical interventions are occurring in your life. Relax, all is well. The journey, even taking a few moments of stillness in the natural world, can help you attune to the world of the little people and the nature spirits. If you see a small flash of light in a movement or a leaf on the windless day, these are often signs that the wee folk are near. All right. What I think this is saying, when we look at the other cards here, is, you know, having boundaries, protecting your energy so that you are able to tune into this frequency, to pick up on these magical things that are happening. Because if we are caught up in all the other stuff, these things, we can miss out on that. And I think that speaks to also this concept of pregnancy creation. So like in the video I did, that's on my page, it speaks to, okay, so there's this energy of being pregnant with possibilities. Empress card had come up in that reading. But there's also this energy of, you know, like if you look at a pregnant woman, she has to conserve her energy. She's not doing super physical, strenuous things. She's chilling. The Empress card and the tarot is a lady sitting on pillows, as Madame Adam points out. If you're familiar with Madame Adam, dude, he's awesome. Anyway, so there's a sense of protecting your energy so that you can put yourself in the proper frequency. So going back to that reading before, the pregnancy concept is, if you follow the idea that everything that has ever happened will ever happen, every infinite dimension, possibility, all of those things, the mind-boggling infinity that we are a part of, everything exists already in that state, that kind of like wave function, right? So it's not so much a task of creating as it is a task of resonating. You find that frequency of that which you want to manifest, and you match it and you pull it towards you. You create a magnetic link. You're not really creating anything because it's already there. You're just tuning to it. And so I think this nature spirit card kind of speaks to that frequency tuning. When you let go of this other shit, it lightens the load so it's easier to reach those places. So we got prayer feather next. Prayer feather. What does it have to say about prayer feather? Where'd you get? Oh yeah, I suppose if I look at P's. Oh, there it is. It's number 72. 72. All right, love is flowing to you and through you. No matter what an individual is saying or doing, love him or her anyway. Gather your inner forces silently and secretly, love deeply and fully. With every ounce of your being, even if someone isn't fulfilling your expectations, love deeply and fully. It's easy to love people when they're acting wonderfully. The true challenge is to love them when they aren't. So, before I read the rest of this, one thing that I feel called to say is when we're protecting our boundaries, when we're protecting our energy, we're going to encounter other energies that aren't really in resonance with us. And it's important not to get judgy or mean about it, basically. Everybody is where they're at. So when you're looking at something, you're protecting your energy. You're not condemning the person behind that energy. You are condemning the effect that energy has on you in terms of your health and happiness. So always try and maintain that. It's like the idea of like, you don't dislike the person, you dislike what they're doing, right? It's that kind of thing. So, because if you start getting into this place of judgment, you're going to just create more negative energy. Okay, I got a great story I can share with you guys that I feel like is a really, really good description. So when I was in 5th grade, I got bullied all the time. A lot. It was like kind of hell for me. And I realized, in retrospect, a lot of the time it's because I had a fucking shitty attitude, and I can't blame myself for that. It's the programming I had. It's what I was raised with. It's what I was familiar with. That said, it didn't help me because anytime I would engage with other people, my attitude from the trauma and stuff I'd already experienced was telling me this is going to go badly. So even if people were being nice to me, I couldn't see that. And I still struggle with that sometimes. Luckily, I've gotten a lot better than I was in 5th grade, thank fucking God. But, programming, that shit can run deep. But when I was that age, I had a really bad problem with it. Really, really bad. And so there was one day, a bunch of these bullies were like picking on me, calling me names. They were following me around. They were just kind of relentless. And finally I got fed up and I found a stick on the ground. This was outside during recess. And I picked up this big stick. I'm like, I'll just scare them away so they'll leave me a fuck alone. And I started chasing them with a stick. That did not work out for me because there was one of me and there was a ton of them. So what ended up happening is I'm chasing them with a stick to get them to go away. And then they realize there's a whole bunch more of them than there are me. So they start chasing me. And I'm like, fuck. So I drop the stick and I start running. One of the kids catches up with me and jumps on me from behind and smashes me to the ground. I end up breaking my collarbone. All the kids scattered. I'm laying face down on the ground at school. The recess bell rang. I'm still laying face down on the ground. I had to pick myself up, broken collarbone and all, walk myself into the office, get yelled at for being late. Until they realized, oh shit, your shoulder's turning black. So, I broke my collarbone through that. And then I ended up having to serve detention because I was also involved in that. I had contributed to it. Greetings, M+K, smiley faces. So I contributed that, maybe not intentionally, but I did. So I had detention. One of the people who was in that group also had to serve detention. Actually, I think we had an in-school suspension. And her and I ended up becoming really good friends. And I have kind of lost contact with her over the years. For many years, we were pretty tight. And we started out, she was one of my bullies, and then she became a friend. And we just kind of started talking. And so out of that, I had a shift in perspective. But I realized looking back at that, I probably could have spared myself some broken bones by just not engaging. Sometimes you just can't engage in that stuff. Sometimes too, looking at kids and people in general. Often you have a bully who's really loud. You're going to have somebody who's loud and vocal, and their shit is coming from a place of insecurity within themselves. So they have to be the loudest, the biggest, because they need to do this to feel okay with themselves. So then, when you think of, a lot of bullies and stuff, thinking in terms of, school, a lot of those kids that are bullying other kids have a shit home life. They're being abused. They're being programmed. So there's a need to like kind of consider that and think about that when we're encountering other people and energies that don't necessarily resonate with us, but try and, you know, while you're working on your boundaries and yourself, try and be gentle in the process. There's no need to make things worse for everybody else too, you know, while you're protecting your energy. You can do so in a way that's compassionate toward other people, recognizing, well, okay, this person, their effect on my life is not healthy for me. I'm not going to judge them as an individual, but I am going to set some boundaries and step back. As simple as that. So let's continue reading the rest of this one for prayer feather. That's where we're at right now. So feathers in native cultures often represent a connection with the creator. Birds often symbolize messengers between the two legs, humans and spirit. This is your time to love and be loved. The love that you send out into the world comes back to you 100-fold. Likewise with the opposite. You know, you chase someone with a stick, you might get your shit broke. So there are times when the small concerns of everyday life need to drop away and be replaced by the majesty of your being. Replace that shit with the goddamn majesty of your being. All right. I just like that. It sounds fun. All right. There are times when the small concerns of everyday life need to drop away and be replaced by the majesty of your being. This is that time. This is that time, my friends. Step into the majesty of your being. You're fucking God. Get right. You're God, but so is everyone else. That is a really interesting dynamic because it is incredibly empowering to know that you are part of the fucking infinite. And it's incredibly humbling because so is everything and everyone else. We're all in this together, my friends. Okay, so... all right. This is that time. Prayer feathers are decorated feathers that can be used for many purposes. In some traditions, prayers are placed into the feather, and you can hold it to your heart or between your hands as you focus on your prayer. And then tied onto a bush so that when the wind blows, it carries the prayers to the Creator. Okay, so they're saying like prayers are written on the feather. They tie it to the bush. The wind kind of picks that and takes it. They do that with tobacco too, or like bundles. Another kind of prayer feather is a decorated feather or a decorated bundle of feathers that are used for smudging sacred smoke ceremonies. The smoke is to cleanse the space as well as carry your prayers upward. The idea with smoke is that when we look at smoke, it's kind of a multidimensional thing, right? Because smoke can kind of exist in our state and it can go into the other dimensions. It's fluid. It moves like water in a sense, you know. It's not water, but it has that same freedom of movement in a sense. Smoke. Here's some smoke. Might as well throw some sage up in here while we're at it. I don't actually have any feathers with me right now, but I used to have a bunch of them. I made it into a thing and I gave it to someone. My mom. But all right, moving on. I'm just gonna put this in my little cauldron. Just put that in the cauldron. Okay. The journey for day. Love each person you encounter. Imagine a golden ray of light from the center of your heart radiating to the center of the heart of that individual. Notice how great you feel by the end of the day. Do that for everyone, you know, why not? All right, the last card is Vision Quest. That is page 116. 116. Vision Quest. Sacred Seeker. Take time away from people and situations. Step back. Withdraw. Inner truth is emerging in stillness, but first you need to retreat. Know that you're guided. Look for answers in different ways. The answers are around you. Watch for signs in the coming day. Trust that your life is being directed. Your native spirit wants you to know in earth-based cultures, larger questions about life are often answered on vision quests or solo retreats in nature. Questions such as, who am I? What am I meant to do with my life? What is my mission, my purpose in life? Those were often answered on vision quests of various kinds. And even if you don't have burning questions, when this card chooses you, it's telling you to take time away from your ordinary life. Make space for the sacred. Your soul knows the truth. Take time and quietude to discover what it is. The answers to your questions are all around you, but you must be still to hear those questions. I'm really liking how all these cards in this particular spread work together. So that was the last one there. So let's just kind of do a quick recap. So we got Circle of Life, Sacred Mountain, Spirit Keeper of the West, Nature Spirits, and Prayer Feather. So with all, and Vision Quest. So with all these together, it's speaking of this sense of like, there's a sense of a pregnancy, a birthing. Not necessarily a physical pregnancy, take it how it resonates, but something is being created within you that's important. It's part of your quest, your purpose. And much like a pregnant woman has to, when she's pregnant with a child, there's a need to protect your energy so that this birth can go smoothly. There is a need to be compassionate toward yourself and others in this process, but protecting your energy so that you can reach the frequency of what it is that you're trying to manifest, knowing that it is already created in an existence, and all we're really doing when we're manifesting something is we are aligning with that frequency. We're not creating anything. That's not our job to create. That's the divine's. Our job is to align. So we align with these things, and we do that by kind of having boundaries. What we're going to engage in, what we're going to detach from, and we do that in a way that is compassionate, realizing, you're God, but so is everything and everyone else. So you can't come at this sort of thing with a judgmental thing when you're protecting yourself, because the fact is, we don't know all the intricacies and all the details of everyone's life. You don't know what people are going through, you and I and all of us, when we are observing other people, we have a very, very, very limited, narrow view of them as individuals, and we got to remember that. And especially when we look at this world right now, where there's the trigger world, it's like knee-jerk reaction to call somebody a narcissist. It's knee-jerk reaction to demonize and label people left and right, and all it's doing is making shit worse. There is a need to look at those patterns and see that and recognize it in people for fuck yes, because that's protecting ourselves. But there's also a need to not take that and kind of like create a self-fulfilling prophecy through fear. Granted, there's shit show people out there. There are people who, they totally, absolutely fucking suck. Maybe not them as individuals and not their inner child, but the stuff they do, fuck yeah. And some people are so caught up in that illusion, that's where they're at. It does not detract from them as children of God, of the infinite. But you gotta honor where they're at and how that affects you. And you can do that without being hateful. You can do that while being compassionate. And I think so that's what the message is here. It's really loving yourself, protecting your energy, maintaining your focus. That's another thing I want to talk about too, is the concept of focus. And that's kind of what we've been talking about here this whole time. Our focus is so important because our focus is that radio dial switch that allows us to tune in. What are we focusing on? We're going to get more of that. Not to victim shame and say oh, you just aren't manifesting hard enough, bro. I don't think it's like that, but I do think our attitude plays a huge role in our experience. And if we are coming to every experience with a negative attitude, it's very likely that we will have a negative experience because we're not in a headspace where we can recognize the good shit and act on it, so much of what we experience in our life, we attach meaning to, and sometimes that can work for us, and a lot of times it can work against us, basically. So, anyway, yeah. Like I said, I'm on a little bit of a kick here, and I'm going to just kind of keep pulling cards because it's, fun. So the next card deck, the next deck I'm going to go with is the Goddess Oracle deck. I really like this one too, and this is another one that I found at that garage sale I was telling you about. It was really cool how I came by these. You'll have these little synchronicities too in your life that help kind of give you clues to your path and things. You know, there's different things you can follow synchronicities. You can follow how you feel. Like, how does this make me feel? Like, be honest with yourself too. Like, like, do I feel good about this, or do I want to like smash my head into the wall a bunch of times and just like, like if I'm having that urge, maybe I should change something, you know? Like, anyway. So we got Nematona, sacred space, create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. I think that ties in well with that that sacred mountain card that came out before. You know, there's a need to connect with energies of something primal, larger than ourselves, you know, like the big mom, you know what I mean? So the other card that jumped out here is Mabe, cycles and rhythm. Honor the cycles of your body, energy, level, and emotion. That goes back to the boundaries thing, right? And then we also have Bridget. I know words. Don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. And then under that too, there's Butterfly Maiden, transformation. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. And then we got Best, independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and successes. It's pretty cool. And then Ishtar, boundaries, right? Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. All right. And then the last card too that was under there is Ein, leap of faith, take a risk, put your heart's true desires into action. Cool. We used to call my Grandma Ein. Her name is actually Inez, but we call her Grandma Ein. That's kind of interesting to me. I like that. That's fun. All right. Next, my seat is like hard. I need a pillow for my butt. The problem with losing weight and stuff is that your butt gets bony and it's more uncomfortable to sit. I'm gonna have to do some squats just so I can sit comfortably. Jesus Christ. Do squats so you have a comfy seat. All right, this deck is the Metamorphic Mysteries Oracle. This deck was created by yours truly. This deck features 20 years of art. This is a hybrid deck because it is a tarot deck and an oracle deck. And it's a whatever I want deck because it's mine and I made it. So the first card that comes out here is my portals card. This is dragons and shit. I always feel there's a connection between dragons and portals. I don't know why, I just do. So I go with it. But here you can see, and water. Like if you look closely at this card, you see like around the perimeter, you see all these little dragons and then they turn into the waves. There's a sense of like, I think this kind of goes well with that sense of like Ace of Pentacles energy. This doesn't have a tarot card attached to it, but I would say that, you know, any of those ace energies, this would be very similar to new opportunities. Thinking about a portal, you're going into a new place, right? So like considering that and thinking about a portal in terms of birth and pregnancy too, like women are portals, right? So that's the first card. So we're gonna be mindful of the portals we're creating here. We create portals all the time. All the time. Hell yeah. All right. Next card pops out is the Hanged Man. I feel like this goes well with other stuff. Like a lot of what the reading has been saying is like, so, you know, this sense of like pregnancy, you're birthing something, and there's a need to step back and kind of like have boundaries, protect your energy, observe, you know, like, and I think that observation so that we have a clear picture of how these energies are affecting us. So the irony here is, you know, like sometimes, I don't know, like honestly, with the reading we just did, there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should go off this live here and just chill out for a while. Like, That's interesting. My low battery thing just came on. I had this shit charged before I started. That's all right. I think we had a quick, nice collective reading here. I might come back on live in a little bit. I am gonna have to charge my phone, so I guess I can't be on here too much longer. But I'll pull up a few more cards. But if I suddenly disappear from the live, know that my phone died, and I'll come back on tonight. I might do more nighttime collective readings. I do have the intention to be going live on here and doing more of that, sharing more stuff. There's a few things that I want to try and manifest for myself, such as like a better mic for some of the ASMR stuff I do and some of the music stuff I do. But anyway, so the card that bumped out, night. So it has a bunch of stuff written on the back here. This is my Six of Wands card. Validation, victory, progress, potential, abundance, recognition. I feel like this card is also probably just affirming the fact that I should probably get off this live for now and come back later. But Six of Earth, give and receive, sharing, altruistic. All right. I feel like this is a pretty good reading. So I'm just going to do a quick recap on everything we went over and close this out. And I will come back on tonight for a longer vibe session. There's a few things I want to kind of get together before I do that. But, yeah, it was pretty fun. So, anyway, it was a good way to kind of like get myself used and comfortable to the idea of going live again, because it's been a while since I've done that. So I will be coming back on live this evening, and I have the intention of going live pretty frequently at this point, because to be honest, a lot of times I'm watching a lot of your lives because you guys got some cool stuff, but I feel like I need to share too, I guess, and I'm feeling more called that way. So that's what I'm going to do within reason, obviously. So yes, to recap on the readings, for those of you who are just joining in, I did a pretty big collective reading, and the collective reading spoke of this. It spoke of the concept of pregnancy. Pregnancy does not have to mean being physically pregnant. Pregnancy can be having, manifesting an idea, a thing, something you're passionate about, your baby, so to speak. And when we look at pregnancy in terms of like physical birth and stuff, a pregnant woman has to protect her energy. She's not going to be lifting heavy shit. She's not going to be doing anything strenuous. She's going to be like really being careful about what she takes into her body. She's going to be careful about what she interacts with, and she's going to be growing this thing bit by bit. And so that's the energy we're in right now, this sense of pregnancy. And so there's a need to have boundaries. There's a need to protect your energy. There's a need to do this so that you can connect with the frequency which you are trying to manifest. We went into this understanding that everything in infinity exists simultaneously. Like you start looking at like quantum entanglement and all that stuff. There's a lot of scientific evidence that's pointing to this concept of the infinite, and that it all exists in a timeless state, kind of lumped together in this soup. So when we are manifesting, creating, we have to remember that we are not actually creating, we are tuning. Leave the creation to God. God's already done that. Spirit does that. We don't create. We basically just tune into what has already been created. And everything has. So it's just picking and choosing at this point, So, hi, Crystal. So, yeah, that's basically the reading. You may be finding yourself pregnant in some way. Not necessarily physically pregnant, but pregnant with something. So now you have to be, careful with your energy and intentional about how you're building this thing. But some of that might be as simple as just taking some time to rest and observe and just let things sort of solidify in a natural way with like a good environment. Like you give a plant the right conditions, it's going to grow well. But if you don't give a plant the light it needs, the food it needs, all that stuff, it's gonna fucking die. And it's the same concept. So we're kind of like nurturing ourselves. We're nurturing this thing that we're creating. We're protecting our energy in the process. We're going inward. We're doing all the stuff we need to do to birth something beautiful. So I hope this helped. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. If you've been hanging out with me, I'm going to come back on live later tonight and do some ASMR and some Reiki and probably some more readings. I do offer personal readings. You can find all that on my link in my bio. It connects to my website. You can do that through there. Email me. I'm flexible. I also offer like a lot of, I've got a lot of stuff that I'm kind of working on putting up there, but it's all in like the link tree in my bio if you're interested. I do a lot of visionary art. I have like merch and things like that and all that cool shit. Anyway, feel free to give me a follow if you aren't. I'm going to be going live pretty frequently, sharing readings and stuff. Probably play some guitar too, and do some music things. I have an album I just put out. I do a lot of stuff, and it's fun. Anyway, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Aloha, namaste. Peace out. How do I turn this thing off? Oh, okay, cool. Bye.